Hi there. So welcome to my YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed, go and do so now. All right. And turn on the notification buttons. And don't forget, hey, we have a few other pages associated with our own. My wife's page, Mildred Kingsley Okonkwo. Great content there. Please go subscribe. Then we have where some of our classic messages are LDM with PK. That's under our YouTube channel. So please subscribe to these channels and turn on the notifications. And also write comments and share these videos. Let somebody else get blessed. And write comments. Let's get the feedback of how this is blessing you. All right. Today I'm answering the question, must a Christian marry in church? People ask me that all the time. Is a church wedding the only wedding we can do, or must we even do a church wedding? Must a Christian do a church wedding, or must I do a church wedding? Okay, must I do a church wedding? The answer is no, you don't have to do a church wedding, but it'd be good to do one. All right, the way wedding works is that there's nowhere in scripture where they said you must wed in a church, interestingly. Throughout the Bible, we didn't even see any instance where people wedded in a church, interestingly. There's something, when you see God silent on certain things, it's because he wants to give us some liberty to decide. I know human beings like to be fully yielded to God, but they don't realize that part of the ways you are fully yielded to God is by actually using the free will he gave you. This is why it confuses people a lot. People say things like, oh, if God is the God of the whole earth, then why is there terrorism? Why is there rape? Why are the kidnapping? Why are bad things going on? They don't realize that God has given us free will. He can't just come and start running things. If he comes and starts running things, then he has taken over the world, which is not what he's doing. He gave us the world as a gift. He gave us free will. You know, you can't even say you love God if you don't have a choice. That's why he gave you free will. That's why free will is the first thing he gave man. The will to choose to love him. God has angels. If God wanted more angels, would have made more angels. How we are different from angels, that angels, you know, can't choose what they want to do. But he gave us free will. So when we choose to love him, that is true love. It's not true love if I force you to love me. Then that's not true love. That's obedience. That's not love. Okay, so people don't understand that, you know, God gave you free will for a purpose. You don't have to do anything. Now, but when you grow in wisdom, you now know what and what you need to do. So when you see God leaving some areas that he didn't speak specifically about, it's not because he's oblivious of the fact. He believes in marriage. He loves marriage. Marriage is very important to him. However, he left everyone to do what is culturally okay, you know, in your day and time. He gave you some liberty and some free will to choose what you want to do. So there are three common ways people get married. Three common ways. The first one is culturally. So this is basically whatever your family decides, whatever your tradition or culture is. God is not against culture and tradition. It's only when those culture and tradition are contradictory to scripture, then it becomes a problem. All right, but ordinarily, the Bible actually says in Romans that give custom to whom custom is due. So God actually believes in customs. God actually believes in tradition. All right, it's only when those tradition is trying to say, oh, you need to sacrifice to another God, or you need to do something, you need to marry 10 wives, or you need to pregnant your wife before you marry. When it's something that's going to break, you know, scriptural godly principle, then God is against it. But ordinarily, traditional, you know, wearing your native attire, dancing, or whatever, all those things, God is okay with it. He has no issue. That's why he left it blank. He said, do whatever is required in your country and in your time. And in different cultures all over the world, there are so many differences of how people get married. So, hey, you know, first one is culturally. So this involves your family, whatever your family wishes. In most Bible times, the family just came together. It wasn't even a large ceremony. The family just came together, said this is what we want, this is what. Sometimes they didn't even collect anything, just exchange gifts and everybody goes home. All right? So culturally, in Africa, in Nigeria, we do traditional marriage. It's always elaborate here. You know, so they give you a list of things you need to bring. They charge you a bride price. Sometimes it's I think my own was 5,000 naira or 500 naira. I can't remember. You know, it's not really something expensive, but there are other things on the list that can be expensive. You do a party, you bring a bag with wrappers and things, you know, yams. In some places they give you, go and bring 100 tubers of yam, you know, things like that. And they count in some places. Some people are wicked, they count it. Because some places, if you just bring 40, they shouldn't count, but some people count. You know, so, but basically all these things can be negotiated, all right? So that's traditional marriage. It is as valid as any other marriage. In the eyes of God, it's valid. In fact, if two families come together and they both agree on terms and do this ceremony and just say, you're this is my husband, it's marriage. In the eyes of God, it's okay. He has accepted it. God is not against that. All right, that's one. Second one we do is legal or court marriage, I don't know whether they call it civil in some other places, but, it's the official legal one. Now, people usually do this one because the court sometimes can't recognize the traditional one because the traditional one is so informal. It's so informal, it's difficult to, recognize it legally. So many places, they are still required to do some civil stuff, some court stuff that will be registered with the government, registered with the law. So that's why you need it. All right. And the third one is the church, which, what do I discuss? Must I do a church wedding? You don't have to do a church wedding. However, if you are a Christian and you understand the place of honoring God, do you see this? All right. You now begin to grow and understand, hey, I want God to be a part of it. I want other brethren, other Christians to stand with me as I go on this journey. I want to honor God with what I'm doing. Then you can do a church wedding. See, it's not as if you don't do a church wedding, you're not married. You are married. Because I see people that tell me, I want to leave this man I'm with. I say, are you not married? They say, yeah, well, just traditionally. And I say, no, you're married. It's I just want to leave this man. I say, why? We just did really court wedding. You are married. It's not until you come to church before it's marriage. Okay, you are married. Even if it's traditional, it's marriage. Okay, it's very important. This is why the whole process, you must take it seriously. People just jump in and out of these things. It's marriage. Okay, now church wedding is not anywhere in the Bible, by the way, but it's very important. It's when you grow and understand, hey, this marriage, you see, let me say this way. When you're a Christian now, you have understanding. You understand that this marriage is not, I'm not just making a pledge to a human being. I'm not making a vow to just a human being. Those of you that have watched my video on covenant and contract, you understand this. Marriage is a covenant, not just between two people, interestingly, but between three people. Because you're making a covenant to your husband or your wife, but you're also making a covenant with God. So this is why church is good. When you have this understanding, and this doesn't mean you can't do it outside of church. You can do it anywhere. You can do this, but I'm just saying a church makes it kind of official for you. All right? You are conscious of the fact that this union is not just between me and this man, it's between me and God. All right? You are conscious of the fact that God is represented in this union. And both of you are submitted and yielded to God. So that's why church is good. You are coveting the prayers of mentors and pastors. You are coveting people standing in agreement with you in prayer. The Bible says two or more shall agree as touching anything shall be established. So because of your spiritual understanding, a church is good. And if you can't have it inside a church, you can still get spiritual authority. You see, God has constituted spiritual authority. I see people these days that say, oh, we don't need a pastor. That's not true. God believes in constituted authority. There are different constituted authority that God has. In the traditional marriage, the parents or parents' representative are the constituted authority. You see God say, give honor to whom honor is due. Give custom to whom custom is due. Give tribute to whom tribute is due. God believes in constituted authority. In fact, God says, okay, that's talking about custom. So your parents are the constituted authority. Now, when it comes to civil or legal, the law of the land is the constituted authority. So this is why God says, let everybody be subject to the higher power, that be subject to those that are in authority, because every authority is of God. So God believes in authority. Don't listen to people telling you, oh, you can do whatever you like. No, there must be some authority in your life. It's just how this world is regulated. So either your parents or their representative for the cultural one, either the legal system, the country you belong to, whatever they require of you, is the legal one. Then there's spiritual constituted authority. All throughout scripture, you see God saying, submit to those, in authority over you spiritually. Honor your pastors, obey your pastors. It's there in the whole Bible. I even see people that say you don't even have to go to church. I see people that say those things today, and I wonder, which Bible are you reading? The Bible is clear about not forsaking the assembling together of yourselves. The Bible talks about that your pastors will give account for your soul. All these things are there in the New Testament. So I wonder how people say you don't need the church. I've never seen that. Never seen any scripture. I've never seen Jesus encourage that. So, having those spiritual constituted authority being present in your life and also speaking over you and releasing you into the journey of marriage is very important. So this is why church is important. It doesn't mean you have to. To be honest with you, you don't have to. But it's wise to do so. It's wise to do so. You are standing before God. You are honoring God. You are conscious of God. And if you can achieve all these things without a church, please go ahead and do so. But however, I encourage you to have that God factor in that marriage. All right? So I hope this has helped you. Hey, let me know in the comment section what you think. And I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. And remember, if you need any of our resources, our website is available. You see it on the screen. Hey, visit us and let us know how you're doing. All right. God bless you.